All right, so joining me today is Tim from Tim's Hot Takes. We've had some little back and forth
Yeah.
on Instagram. He's got a channel over there if you guys want to check him out. Tim's Hot Takes, I believe that's just the channel name.
Yeah, it's just Tim's Hot Takes. And
Okay,
on Instagram, it's Tim's Hot Takes, no underscores, no nothing.
yeah. So you do good work. You do some good work over there, and yeah, if you guys
I
want to go check
try.
him out, yeah, I'm sure he'd appreciate it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
definitely appreciate it.
yeah, we're just gonna talk some ball today. Just get some. We've already gone over some of these things, just in the DMs and such, but
Yeah.
yeah, so where do you want to start with, secondary players, corners and safeties?
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about safeties real quick because that's the one I most recently posted my safety rankings. I actually have Antoine Winfield Jr. as my top safety, believe it or
Okay.
not. I was on the Jeremy Chin, uh, that train for a while, but then I hopped on Antoine Winfield train instead because I didn't love Chin's coverage skills on tape as much as I thought I would. But Winfield, I think he does it all. I just like him. I think he's a little more dynamic than, say, McKinney, who's usually the consensus number one safety.
Yeah. I know the whole thing with Winfield was, some people didn't think he could play single high, which I never really understood.
Because he has phenomenal ball skills and tracking, and
Yeah.
he's got closing speed for sure. He ran, I think, a 4.4 somewhere in there.
Yeah, he
So,
definitely a sub 4.5.
yeah, so I don't understand people say maybe it's because of his height, but even then,
Yeah.
he still had great ball production, so I don't think it's going to be that big of a
Yeah,
deal.
what was it, like 7 picks this year?
7 or 8, yeah, I think
Yeah,
so.
I mean, like he plays like his ball skills are probably the best in the class at safety. Like
I
if you're
agree.
you know, if you're looking for that, like I think some people like Ashton Davis in that same kind of mold. I didn't see it
Mm.
as much with Davis. Uh,
Yeah, I think Winfield's just a little bit more dynamic, probably.
yeah,
Just flash on the field a little better. But I do like Ashton Davis as well. I think the safety class is a little underrated, to be honest. I have a lot of guys I like in there.
yeah.
Julian Blackman's another one for me.
Mm.
Put him at safety 6, which is a little higher than most, but I really like him out of Utah. So that's another one for me that I really like.
Yeah, Utah had all that. Utah's defense was really interesting this year.
They got some guys in that defensive backfield
Yeah.
coming out because they have Jalen Johnson, obviously, he'll go around one. And then they got Julian Blackman, Terrell Burgess, and then Javelin Guidry, who ran a 4.29. So
Oh,
they got
I
they
totally
got
forgot
some
about Guidry.
yeah. So they got some guys. I mean, their defense gonna be kind of they're losing a lot of guys on that defensive
Yeah, and then
side of the
Fotu
ball.
and I, right?
Yep, both
Yeah,
of them too, and Francis Bernard.
yeah, half their team's gonna be drafted, dude.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. Um, yeah. So my safety rankings, I had McKinney 1, and then I had Winfield 2, and then Delpit.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, Delpit's been catching a lot of hate, and he's probably going to drop second, maybe in third round. But I don't like his tackling issues. Yeah, they're there, but I still like his run fill ability. I think his coverage ability is still pretty good. Like he filled his assignment well in terms of run stopping. He didn't always make the tackle, which
yeah,
you know.
yeah. I
But
wanted to figure out, like, there's some guys in the class. I just want to figure out, like, everyone's talking about this. This is a talking point. How big of an issue is this? I think the tackling wasn't what I had the issue with. There were just some reps where I just think he like flat out gave up on plays.
yeah,
There was a play down like the left sideline in the national title game even where he just completely let up for whoever on Clemson you know went to
yeah,
score that touchdown. There are those like little plays throughout his film, and it just rubs me the wrong way. Like there's a
yeah.
few guys in this class like that.
He shouldn't have won the Thorpe Award again. He deserved it in 2018, but it should have been Okuda in
His
2019.
2018 film is really good.
He's in a lot of ways kind of like the Jordan Love of the defensive side of the ball this class because Love's 2018 film was absolutely ridiculous.
Oh
And
yeah,
then you look at his 2019 film, and he lost a coach and 9 offensive starters, so took a step back, but he still tried to. I think what happened was he tried to force the issues too much because he was just trying to do too much because he had no help basically compared to the year before. So ended up in some bad decision making. Like I think he's better than Herbert, but I couldn't put him at QB3 because of his turnover issues in 2019.
yeah,
But I think he'll be the better pro in the long run. That's just my opinion. It's my hot take.
yeah.
But I really like Jordan Love.
I mean, I totally see that. He's currently my QB4. I'm not crazy high on Herbert. I don't think he's just, I think some people think he is like, useless. I wouldn't go that
Yeah.
far.
Right.
He played pretty well down the stretch, but
Mm-hmm.
no, I mean, I think that there's going to be one or two. I think there's one or two guys in most classes, except for the 2018 quarterback class. I thought, for whatever reason, that first round, I thought like three of those guys were going to hit.
Yeah.
I think it's probably lower this year when you consider like Tua's medicals. And
Yeah. I think if Tua can stay healthy, he's gonna be absolutely fine. It's just a matter of him not getting hurt again. And I mean, and we've seen guys who get hurt a lot in college come to the pros and they're fine, or guys that are healthiest dudes in college and they come out and they get hurt all the time in the NFL. So you never know. But yeah, it is worrisome. And I think that's why the Dolphins probably end up picking Herbert, which I disagree with a lot. But because like for me, like Herbert has everything you want in terms of size, strength, speed, and all that stuff. But
yeah,
like it just feels like when you watch him, there's something missing. Like he just doesn't hit throws that you feel like a guy
yeah,
of his
he
size and ability should.
he misses a lot of those like layup throws. Um, yeah, the thing, it's so hard, obviously like the situation we're in, just as a country, it's
Mm-hmm.
so hard for teams to, get that medical recheck. And I think even if that medical is fine, like the issue is still, you're still going to ask questions. Like he's got
Yeah.
2 ankle surgeries. He had like a hand issue. Um, and then he also had like that hip injury wasn't like that's no joke. Like
Right.
they had to be like rushed to the ER.
Yeah. I mean, I think so. Like this whole thing has been happening. I think it's definitely worked against him because, yeah, I think if teams could get him in the building and actually like get their hands on him and see like what the medical is for themselves and get their own trainers on him, I think he'd check out and I think he'd be the second quarterback taken off the board, no question about it.
Yeah.
Because they can't do that. No, there's no confirmation. I think Justin Herbert, like if a team is split, Ty goes the healthy guy. So, but I think honestly, in a way, even though it's going to push him probably down to QB3 for some teams, I think it might end up working better for him because I think LA is a better situation for him than Miami.
In Miami.
Less, I think LA is more ready to win now, and they get the right quarterback. Plus, Tua, if he's not completely healthy yet, they like Tyrod, so he can sit behind Tyrod for as long as he needs to get right. So
And
I think that's the best situation for him.
I would do that if I was a team. I'd want to like medically redshirt him.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
And
get some.
I think LA is better equipped with that with Tyrod than Miami with like Fitzpatrick or Rosen.
Yeah, because he's probably going to play there earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any questions about Burrow? Because Burrow right now is the 4th overall player on my board, which is like the way I do my rankings. I've only been doing them for a few years, but
Mm-hmm.
that's like the highest I've put a quarterback
Really?
far. Just because it's like it's not including for positional value. So
Okay.
essentially
Yeah.
the 4th best player overall
Right. Overall, yeah.
in the class.
Yeah, with positional value is obviously number one,
Yeah,
but overall, Chase Young is number one player on my board. It's
same
not
here.
really close.
Yeah.
And I actually have Burrow at 2 because I think he
Okay.
with the season that he had, doesn't have the strongest arm, but he's just so creative in the pocket. He's able to make guys miss like just with a little shoulder movement or a little just one or two steps to
Yeah.
get free. And he's I know like people will talk about Joe Brady, his scheme and all that, but there's a lot of things where it was just Burrow doing things on his own.
Yeah, like I went back and looked and like the numbers between his 2018 and his 2019. I watched some of his 2018 games to try to just figure out like okay,
What happened?
what happened exactly. And honestly, I really do think it was just like a stronger grasp of the offense. And when your tape, he didn't have any bad tape this year.
Yeah, none.
It was insane. I couldn't find I seriously couldn't find it. Like
Yeah, I mean, he got he was sacked a couple times. I think he had a few picks, but nothing memorable. But like, yeah, it's just like he never did anything that's gonna put you desperately behind or like to put you in a lot of trouble.
yeah,
And everything just bounced off him. He didn't make a mistake. It was whatever, next play.
yeah.
So I'm actually excited to see him in Cincy. I mean, I am a Steelers fan, so I hope he doesn't
Yeah,
go off
saw
too
that
much.
back there.
Yeah, but I think they've got more weapons than they're given credit for, and their O-line still needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
But they had a lot.
Back.
They had a lot of pieces on defense though this offseason, like DJ Reader, Trey Wayne. So they're investing in. They're trying to put stuff around them. So they franchise tagged AJ Green. They got Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd. They got some guys there.
Yeah,
They're not going to win the division, but
no, They could probably go O-line at 33 again too, if like Barry or something's there.
Yeah, I think they should. But also, if Patrick Queen starts to slip, they might try to trade back above the Ravens to get Patrick Queen. I could see that
Like
happening
back to the
too.
first.
Yeah, maybe like with the Seahawks at 27, because that's the pick before the Ravens.
See that actually.
Yeah.
Damn.
Seahawks love to trade out. But only if Patrick Queen slips. I'm not sure if he does.
Yeah. Do you think Queen or Murray is more likely to slip?
Probably Queen. I think Murray's going to go higher than a lot of people expect. Because like I see people like have Murray fall to like 28, 32, 33.
No, he's
There's
going.
no way that's happening.
He's top 25.
Yeah, especially with this, like what we're in now, like the interviews and all that. There's more based on tape, more based on interviews. Like interviews are huge.
Yeah.
And he's been one of the best interviewers there has been because of his story of growing up, in a household where he basically has to help his parents raise like a bunch of special ed kids. Like his story is going to blow teams away. His leadership is phenomenal. He's going higher than the consensus. Like I'm going to put out a post like the day of the draft. Like I'll have like my final mock and then post later like my like bold predictions, hot takes for the day, what will happen today. And one of them's going to be that Kenneth Murray is going to go higher than everyone expects. So I don't know where exactly yet. I'm decided, but he's going to go higher than people expected to.
I've heard some buzz. I forgot who it was exactly, but one of the Broncos beat writers was on like one of those lockdown podcasts. Like one of those guest podcasts where like they bring in beat writers to kind of make like picks based on how they think the team will select. And Broncos beat writer picked Kenneth Murray at 15. Because Vic Fangio, like if you think of Vic Fangio, he had Patrick Willis when he was in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. He had Roquan Danny Trevathan. Like he always has like this linebacker who kind of is like the catalyst for his defense.
Yeah, who's our linebackers right now? I know linebackers in need, but I'm just reading who the linebackers are now.
I think AJ Johnson's one of them.
So no one's special.
I don't think he's special. I've seen like PFF grade him well, but I personally haven't watched his tape.
PFF is kind of irrelevant to me.
Dude, as I've gotten older, I've put less and less stuff, especially the line rankings.
They act like they're right because they have their numbers or algorithms or whatever. But it's just like you just use your eyes. Like not everything's the numbers.
Yeah, and I use like when I evaluate guys, but they kind of lost me this year when they said one of their analysts said I wouldn't take Derek Brown in the first round because
somebody said that
he thought he was strictly a nose tackle. I'm like, dude, if you just turn on his film, dude.
Even if you were to believe that, he's a first round nose tackle then.
Yeah,
he was like the sole reason that Auburn didn't get blown out by LSU because he was so dominant up the middle.
His LSU tape was so good, and his Bama tape this year was good. Honestly, like he
jumps off the screen, man.
He jumps off the screen, and like
that's why I think so. I was thinking about the Panthers, right? Because I was thinking because they could trade back because I think they're gonna want more picks. They got some holes to fill.
Yeah.
So here's my thing with the Panthers. At 7, they could stick and pick. Simmons falls. Here's because I think Matt Rule has to have Joe Brady pretty close to him because they could be talking about adding receivers for his offense, all that. But I think also Joe Brady could be recommending because they have a lot of holes in defense. So Simmons falls. Joe Brady's like, yo, that guy messed us up in the championship game. He was kind of going off against us because Isaiah Simmons' first half against LSU was phenomenal. He was all over the place.
He was
like first, second drive, he was like in the backfield sacking Joe Burrow a bunch. He was ridiculous.
It was like tackles for loss, like all that
stuff. Yeah. He was phenomenal. So Joe Brady could be like, hey, Matt, like, don't pass up on Isaiah Simmons, especially with Kuechly retiring. I don't think Simmons falls past 7. Then say Simmons is gone, Simmons goes 4. They stick and pick at 7, and Joe Brady is like, hey, Matt, this Derek Brown guy, we haven't no defensive tackle. He messed us up against when we played him. So I think it'd be one of those two. But if they do decide to trade down, I think then they could trade down to say like 15 with the Broncos who come up to get their receiver of choice. Another one, they could trade all the way down to 18, pick up Dolphins early second round pick too. The Dolphins might want to move up for a tackle after taking their quarterback of choice at 5.
Yeah.
15 or 18 for them. Watch Kenneth Murray because they need a linebacker too.
True.
Panthers if they were to trade down.
Yeah.
And Matt Rule has seen Kenneth Murray for the last 2 years.
Oh yeah, Baylor guy.
So I think they come in the draft with one of those three players on their team, or Justin Jefferson, I guess,
Yeah.
because Joe Brady and all that. But we'll see.
If I'm at 7, I'm if Kinlaw and Brown are on, or not, Brown and Simmons are both on the board, who would you take? Would you take Simmons?
I go Simmons just because I think he's you lost Luke Kuechly. I know you had a terrible run defense last year,
Yeah.
so filling the middle of the D line is a need. But I'd probably like the defensive tackle depth a little more than the linebacker depth. Like
Yeah.
I think at the top of the second round, you're going to get a better D tackle than you get a linebacker.
You'd probably go like Blacklock, Matabuke,
Yeah,
Gal.
what Gallimore? One of those guys will be there at the top
Yeah.
of the second for them. So I feel like getting a guy like Simmons, you can just play anywhere. He can fill a bunch of different holes in that defense, not only linebackers. So I like Simmons there at 7. I think that should be his floor.
I think Simmons is my third. I either have Brown 3, Simmons 4, or vice versa. I think they're both like really safe players in this draft. Simmons is, he was the catalyst for that whole defense.
Yeah.
And there's a play against Ohio State where he's playing like in the slot, and Dobbins breaks off a huge run, like right through the middle of the defense. Simmons like darts back there. He's playing like he's in the backfield, and he almost catches Dobbins like down the. It was like amazing. Like he was the closest player to Dobbins. Like on a play, like he was just out of the play to start with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's crazy, and they can find a bunch of different ways to use him. I'd be surprised the Giants pass on him, honestly. I think – here's my thing. I think as much as I love Isaiah Simmons, the Giants should go O-line.
Yeah.
Because you drafted Saquon Barkley, your star running back 2 years ago. You drafted your quarterback of the future, hopefully, Daniel Jones last year. Now you gotta protect both of them.
Yeah.
So just go off the board. I know they have bad defense, but to just go off the board from that plan, it's like, oh, we'll go linebacker now. It's like, well, then what have you been building for the last 2 years? It just feels like if he goes as Simmons, it just feels like he's just like, reaching and picking, like, it's like, oh, he's athletic, I'll pick him, instead of actually, building it with a plan.
Yeah.
Which I think if you have a plan in place, you go O-line here.
It's so sad though. Well, I'm kind of split. I think you either go Simmons or O-line. I don't think you go Brown or any of those other.
Right. Yeah.
I think they're the only two ones that you're thinking of. Offensive tackle class is interesting though. Who's your how do you rank those top 4?
I have actually Andrew Thomas at 1.
Okay.
Because I value like what you're getting with him. Because he's played in the SEC for so long as a starter at left tackle, you're not going to get much better than that.
Yeah.
And technically he's pretty sound from what I can tell. So I have Thomas at 1, Wills 2. I actually put Becton 3 and Wirfs 4. But that's not a knock on Wirfs at all. Those top 4 are so tight to me.
Yeah.
Becton I only put above Wirfs just because Becton ragdolls people. Like he just tosses them around. I was just watching. It was funny to watch his tape. I was like, oh my gosh, he's just throwing fools around.
I have Wirfs at. I think right now he's at my offensive tackle 3. I have Thomas at 4, and I felt bad putting Thomas at 4 because all my tackles are between. I have Jedrick Wills, Becton, Wirfs, Thomas in that order. Starting at number 6 on my board and ending at number 14. So they're all in this like little cluster.
I feel like I think I had like 6 through 11 or 12 was pretty tight too.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it was 7 through 12. I think 5 and 6 were pretty clear for me, and then 7 through 12 were tight.
Yeah. So it's really interesting. Wirfs is actually he's freaky from a workout perspective. If you just watched his workouts and then were asked, like, what do you think he's going to play like? I would think he's going to, I'd probably envision like Hall of Famer or something. He doesn't play quite that nasty.
Yeah, I remember like after the combine, I was like, well, he did the combine. I was like, that's the best offensive tackle in this whole class.
Yeah.
Like I'm like and now like I watched the tape and I'm like, why didn't I see what just happened in the combine happen on tape?
I didn't see enough of it. I'm almost like keeping him bumped up to number 3 just because of that athletic testing.
Yeah. I think he's a really good fit though for the Cardinals because they have DJ Humphries at left. They need a right tackle and they want guys that can get out and run that because they like that screen game and stuff. So I think Tristan Wirfs at 8 is almost too good of a fit. I think he'd be great there, sliding at right tackle.
Yeah.
But they could go Wills as well because he's another solid right tackle. The one thing that bugs me though about Wills is a lot of teams or a lot of people in the media talk about like, oh, he can play right or left, mainly because he played right and he's like, oh, but it was with Tua, so he's still protecting blindside. But he was still at right when Mac Jones played. So
Yeah.
we haven't seen him play both right and left. We've seen Andrew Thomas play both right and left. We've only seen Wills play right. So that does concern me a little bit. People just project, oh, he'll be fine at left because he was a blindside blocker, but he still played right when Mac Jones was quarterback. So
Yeah. So you think he's exclusively a right tackle?
I mean, I'm sure he could play left.
Yeah.
We're just assuming he can, even though we haven't seen it. That's a little much for me.
And he's about 312. When I look at his frame, I'm like, you could probably add about 10, 12 pounds on. Mm-hmm. I'd rather have that problem with an offensive lineman, which I don't even think is a problem. I like if you look at like Lane Johnson and like a lot of these like offensive linemen, these guys gain weight when they get in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing with Wills is he does not lose very often. He just seems like he's so steady.
His balance is what like really sticks out. I'm like, oh, you're like, you want to go here, like, your chest isn't like over your feet and you're like, mm-hmm. you're exposed that way. Like he's very like fundamental and his feet are really, really good too. But I mean, like I just feel bad having Thomas at OT4 because like I think he's gonna be like a really damn good pro. And
for sure.
Yeah, and I might bump him up to 3 and bump Becton down to 4, but then that feels weird too because I'm like, this guy.
I was struggling with it because like when I put Wirfs at 4, I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah, like
but I left it because I couldn't move any of the other ones, but I just kind of said to my post like the top 4 are pretty interchangeable. You can put in whatever order you want. Like they're all so close to me, so probably all end up going in the top 11, maybe top 14.
Yeah,
but
that's probably the floor I'd put if they're there at 15, 16. Like something's up.
Yeah, I think the only way any of them like fall to like 18, I'd say would probably be the floor for the 4th offensive tackle. Like if one of the top 4 falls to 18, Miami's going to take him.
Yeah,
but only way that happens if like a bunch of like trades go on, just start pushing players down. You get like all 4 quarterbacks in the top 15. You get like wide receivers a bunch. So
you need the receivers. You need Love to bump up into that range too. Something weird would have to happen. Maybe like Kevon and Henderson early.
Yeah, I'm expecting Henderson to go pretty early at this point.
That's everything I've read, and I understand why. Like physically, like if you want to transition into corners, because we kind of these. We'll loop back there though at some point, but I have Henderson at corner 2, but I don't like him. So I'm a big believer in like front 7 players like that. Those are your run stoppers.
Mm-hmm.
And the safeties, if you're playing like a cover 4, they can kind of play like a run support role depending on, what you're running. I've had to be less harsh on corners for tackling issues because I've kind of hammered them in the past. So I might be swinging the other way a little too much. But he's not a corner that like Greedy Williams where he's just like missing guys and they're like, it's really problematic. He can kind of like latch on to people. He just doesn't have that mindset of like.
Yeah, he wasn't very aggressive to me. That's the only reason why like I put Gladney above him is because Henderson's probably more gifted physically.
Yeah.
But Gladney he just seemed like he just gave more effort.
He's got it.
And he was more aggressive.
Yeah.
Gladney's a kind of corner. I get the whole thing, but you want long, fast corners in today's NFL.
Yeah.
Gladney ran sub 4.5. He ran the 4.4, so that's fine. He can hang with most receivers. I mean,
I've read that he tried to put on some weight and that he actually plays lighter and faster.
That's fine then, yeah.
Yeah, which makes sense. I mean, like, I don't know where – I think he's, like, scheme versatile. I think he's corner 4 for me.
Yeah, I put him at corner 2.
Yeah, so like, he's inside my top 30. He might be inside my top 25.
Yeah, I haven't finished my big board yet. I gotta wrap up my other 3. I gotta wrap up linebackers, edge, and defensive tackles.
Yeah.
I will have my big board. Probably do top 50, maybe top 100.
Yeah.
I'm doing a top
50.
Okay. I'll probably do the same.
Because I've watched about 80 guys so far. I just don't know if I'm gonna make it to 100. It probably like the back end of that list would probably be kind of pushing it.
Yeah, I'm probably in the same boat. So yeah,
Yes.
I'll probably do top 50. But yeah, for me, like Jeff Gladney. So yeah, as you said, he plays. I guess he plays lighter, so which means he'll play faster.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think in a lot of ways he's just more aggressive than me. I don't care as much about it. He went toe to toe with Colin Johnson, Denzel Mims.
Yeah.
Like his Texas tape was one of the most fun tapes I've ever watched for any player in this entire draft.
Yeah.
I've kind of been vocal saying Jeff Gladney my favorite player in this draft. Like not like
Yeah.
oh he's number one, but as in like it's my favorite guy. I've had to pick like my guy. It's Jeff Gladney, and gosh, because Colin Johnson's what like 6'6", he's like 5'10", 5'11".
Yeah.
So he's playing a guy who's over half a foot taller than him, and he was up against they give and took the entire game. Johnson won some reps, but Gladney was like kind of his daddy. He was kind of his daddy for that game. I'm not gonna lie.
That reminds me of I watched have you seen Amick Robertson, the Louisiana Tech guy?
Yes.
I saw him against Texas, and he's this tiny little guy. He's
like 5'8", 5'9".
He looks so small on film when you turn it on, and he's
like
a
dog. He's gonna get after you.
Yeah, dude. I love his mindset overall. So I mean, like if I'm gonna end up doing a top 100, he's gonna be in there. Like I don't care.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he ended up as my corner 10. Yeah, just because the size, like,
yeah,
I love how much of a dog he is, how like aggressive he is, but that's gonna be a liability at some point if you're that small.
Yeah.
But and plus a little bit of a smaller school, and I like some of the other guys just a little bit more. But I had to throw my top 10 because like he just deserves that respect. And he was national mock drafts, diamond in the rough.
Oh, really?
So that was cool. He got some recognition there. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I love Amick Rob. There's a lot of players that I wish I could put their like mentality and like mental makeup in like another player's body.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Like he's one of those guys. Gladney's one of those guys.
Yeah, imagine Jeff Gladney's mindset inside CJ Henderson. That's the best corner in the draft.
Yeah, it's probably better than Akuda.
Mm-hmm.
Like actually,
I mean, it'd be tough to decide, really.
Yeah.
Because like, yeah, I mean, yeah. Go ahead.
CJ Henderson's press. When he plays press man, he had reps against Justin Jefferson. A lot of guys in the SEC where he was just like, it looked effortless when he was run. Like you can sometimes tell by like 40 times, like, oh, like it's hard to tell exactly how fast someone is. Like certain.
He ran an easy 4.39.
He ran an easy 4.39. Like I think he actually could have run faster. He's like never an issue, and he's so long, and he's pretty subtle with his techniques. I wanted to drop AJ Terrell. Well, I wanted to drop AJ Terrell probably further than 3, but he really
had Terrell at 3.
I had AJ Terrell at 3, which is kind of like a little bit of a surprise. Reason is pretty good size, 6'1", 190 plus, 4.42, 40. If you watch his reps against Jamar Chase, everyone gives him so much crap for the Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I actually there's a lot more plays outside the LSU game that I actually disliked more than his LSU tape.
Yeah, his LSU tape was his worst tape.
Yeah, I don't think it was either. I think he got burnt by Jamar Chase a couple of times, but like who doesn't? And even a couple of the ones that Chase, like reps that Chase won, he was there. It's just Chase being better, but he's gonna be a top 5 pick one day next year. But yeah, Terrell had made a number of plays on the ball still in that game. So I thought Terrell actually played fine for the most part. Just he was, beaten by a guy who's one of the best receivers we've seen in a while. But yeah, there are other games I'm like, oh, why are you letting that guy catch the ball on you?
Yeah.
So.
And I thought he was good underneath. He mixes up like his like his press techniques. He actually did that early in the LSU game. Had some pass breakups. He looked good in the Ohio State game too.
Yeah, I actually speaking of Ohio State, I really like Damon Arnett. I had him as
Arnett too.
As CB4, and I guess he kind of gets like this reputation of being like, oh, he's only gonna be like a number 2 corner in the league because he played opposite of Okuda. But his ball skills I liked. His like instincts once the ball comes to the receiver, his ability to just like swipe a hand in and knock the ball away. Yeah. I loved it. I mean, he didn't run a great 40, which is disappointing. But I thought his tape looked great, so I put him at CB4.
I'm a Bills fan, and we're picking at 54. So that'd
be a good spot.
I'm hoping that Arnett falls to 54.
I would watch for the Bears, maybe.
Yeah.
The picture for that.
Is what they have to replace Mukamara to get someone next to Fuller.
It just depends on who falls, really.
Yeah, it really depends on who
So
falls.
Cameron Dancer would be a good pick either for the Bears or for the Bills too.
Yeah.
Your spot.
The only thing, what did he run? A 4.64? That was the broadcast time.
Yeah, that was. I don't know exactly.
You think he's faster than that?
I think he's fast. He probably put on weight because he was really skinny in Mississippi State. So I wouldn't have been surprised if he tried to put on weight for the combine. I still don't think that 4.38 at the pro day was legit. I don't think he's that fast.
No.
But he could be 4.4, 4.5 guy.
I'm not believing any of these pro day times.
Didn't Rager run a 4.22? Like,
Yeah,
I think
this is ridiculous. He ran a 4.42. You're telling me you lost 10 pounds and gained 0.2 of a second? No way.
Yeah, I think Rager also put on weight for the combine. He still ran like the mid to high 4.4s. So like that's still good.
I think
so he's definitely really fast. But
Rager, I think, was like a 4.42, but his jumps were like really good. He was like 40 plus in his jumps. I think his broad was good too. He's explosive. Like he's not a guy. So like both him and Jefferson ran 4.42. Just turn on the tape and tell me who you think is faster.
Jalen Rager.
I don't think it's that close. Yeah. So like the combine could be weird that way.
Justin Jefferson though, him running this 40 is probably one of the funniest things I've like one of the experiences I've ever had like while watching the combine where Daniel Jeremiah was like, "Oh, don't expect this to be that." Oh, never mind. It's a 4.4.
Because those guys do their work. I love when they're like like when you saw like the Becton 40, and Daniel Jeremiah is just basically like rolling over in his seat. Like,
yeah. Yeah, Rich Eisen's like, did we just watch a 364-pound man run a 5.11? And then when Worst ran his 4.8, Eisen was like, that's crazy. That's insanity.
Yeah.
They're just freaking out. Yeah.
Because Becton ran a 5.1.
Yeah.
Which is insane. Like, I don't – like, it's hard for, like, the average person. Like, did you ever play football?
Yeah, I played in college, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm still on that.
So you understand like, okay, this is what this 40 is. Like you understand like hand time versus lasers. However, kind of walks around high school.
I went to a couple of Spark combines in high school. I wasn't really good at them.
Yeah.
And never really tested that well, but I went to them, so I know how it works.
Yeah. So you understand like, geez, like someone that big running that fast.
Yeah, people would be like 5.11. Like I could run faster than that. I was like, are you 364 pounds and 6'7"? Yeah, didn't think so.
Yeah, yeah, that's like unbelievable.
Yeah, that was crazy. I remember Mike Mayock came on their broadcast and was like, "What Becton run at that size, running 5.11, that was more impressive than Henry Ruggs running 4.27." I'm like, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, 188 at 4.27. Yeah, if you took like the Spark score. Like the weight adjusted score, that might be more impressive.
Mm-hmm. Did you see the report, by the way, speaking of the Raiders, that
yes.
Mayock loves CeeDee Lamb but Gruden loves Ruggs because of the speed? I'm like, that's the most believable report I've seen this entire process.
I believe that 100%. Was that Peter King?
I think so. Whoever the main Raiders guy is.
Yeah, off the top of my head. That is the most like Gruden versus Mayock stance.
Yeah, Mayock's like, listen, okay, because he's like the little headed one. He's like, okay, listen, we need we need number one receiver. CD's like the best number one receiver we got because he's an alpha. He goes and gets it. Great open field. Gruden's like, hey man, how about this 4.27 guy though, huh?
Yeah, Gruden definitely just like turned him on. He's like, can't teach that. Like,
yeah, that's totally Mayock Gruden.
Yeah.
The other thing too is like people are always like, oh, we're seeing a quarterback in the first round. I'm like, no, they're not. Stop. Like, because John Gruden's the head coach, there's going to be quarterback talk in the first round for the Raiders every single year. Doesn't matter who's there or whatever.
He's tough on his quarterbacks too.
Yeah, but I mean that's just like his position. He's just
like he has like a love affair with guys.
Like at the combine too, Mayock went on and was like, Derek Carr. Like people need to stop hating Derek Carr. Like he was phenomenal. He threw the ball this well. The problem was defense. Problem was red zone scoring. The problem wasn't Derek Carr. Like he flat out said the problem was not Derek Carr.
Yeah.
And people are like, oh, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert, first round, because I can totally see, Gruden be like, hey Mike, how about this Tua Tagovailoa guy, huh?
He pronounced it too.
Yeah, he pronounces it wrong. And then Max is like, no, like our defense has problems. We don't have number one receiver. He's like, yeah, but how about Tua though? How about Jordan Love, huh? the guy can really sling the football. It's
Oh,
just
dude,
like,
if Jordan Love had a pro day, his stock would be like just going way up.
yeah.
All those evaluators would see him throw that one time, just be like, "Hey, how about this
This
kid?
guy.
This guy's got a cannon."
I honestly won't be shocked because I know Sean Payton likes staying ahead of the curve. I know like there's talk they could add linebacker and maybe one linebackers follows them. But I honestly think that the Saints might end up trading up for Jordan Love into the top 20.
I could see that.
Because I think the Raiders at 19 is a good spot because Raiders have at least put out, smoke at some sort about quarterback. Saints be like, oh, we'll just, insure it because I think Love will be there at 19. They go up and insure it, go up to 19. Raiders move back to 24, which is better value for like the corners they like Terrell and Jalen Johnson. That's better value for those guys rather than 19, I think, because 19 just feels like a little bit of a reach for them. But yeah, I think Saints go up and get Jordan Love because I think they want to stay ahead of the curve. Drew Brees is kind of already writings on the wall with his deal with NBC that he's on his way out.
Yeah.
And Taysom Hill is not the quarterback of the
Yeah, I
future.
think this is last year.
So
he looked bad in that playoff game.
I like Drew Brees a lot. I really do, but he just can't throw the ball down the field as well anymore.
No.
Short to mid game, that's cash money.
Yeah, you're getting accuracy, you're getting time in there.
But he's not gonna be able to press it down the field. Definitely not like Jordan Love can. So yeah, you get another year or two out of Brees. You give Jordan Love time to sit behind that offense, learn Sean Payton's scheme, and he's gonna be they're gonna be set for 15 years after that.
Yeah, I had a parlay for that playoff game, and whatever the other two bets were hit, and I just when you want to just like get the odds up more, and I'm like, I'm gonna throw in Saints money line, and that's the one that didn't hit, and I was so pissed.
That's tough.
But I mean, yeah, I love Brees, but I could totally see them doing like the redshirt year with Love if they were to get up and pick him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate him, like.
I'm a big support. I've been a Jordan Love because people come in my page with all kinds of hate, like, oh, he was so bad 2019. I'm like, I've kind of become a Jordan Love stan at this point where I'm defending him at every turn, basically.
Yeah,
I like him.
I view quarterbacks different than any other position because I think they're so like scheme dependent and where they go and how they develop. But I just kind of view guys as like guys I'm like pretty sure will hit and guys that have a chance. And he's in the have a chance boat for me. But that's something.
Yeah, I guess that kind of influences my rankings too. Like Trayvon Diggs is way down my list somewhere in corners because I think he's not very good. Is he better than probably some of the guys I'm ranking in like the 13 to 15 range? Probably, but I just don't think he's good. I don't think he's going to work. I think he's definitely not. He shouldn't go in the first round. He might just because
I would
name, speed, all that stuff, length, but sheesh. I get his LSU, and we kind of give some other guys pass for LSU.
Yeah.
But his LSU tape might be the worst tape I've ever seen from a corner. It was just bad.
I liked how he was he at least attacked Chase, but yeah, like you could tell like when he would miss a jam, when he'd miss that, like because he loves playing press, and I think he's actually pretty good at it. But yeah, you can tell he's a guy that's played the position for 2 years, and so his tape's just not good.
Yeah, and people kind of like, oh, he's great at tracking the ball because he's a former receiver, cornerback. I kind of like that. But it's like, yeah, he's a former receiver, but it also means he hasn't been playing corner for that long. So he's not really that good right now.
He's like he's like a eye of the beholder type of player. I don't have him crazy high. He might be like corner 8 for me.
Yeah, he did not make my top 10. He probably would be scratching to get in my top 15.
Yeah.
So – and I get it, like how some people are like, this guy's a former receiver, so he got great hands. He can track the ball well. He's all that stuff. But like I personally, I like guys who are experienced and guys that are dogs at corner. So for me, obviously that's Jeff Gladney. Jeff Okudah's in there, a great one. That's why those guys are at the top.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Okudah, which kind of sucks for Okudah. Okudah, yeah, he's number 1 on your board too.
Yeah, I think I'm fighting whether to put him at 3 or Simmons at 3. I can't decide which one I like better right now. Yeah. I got to go back and go over it, but it's so tough for me because Simmons, kind of that chess piece, but Okudah is just so I feel like he just doesn't have much weakness at corner.
No, I think he's probably really like a 4-4-5 guy. I know he ran 4.48, but his 40, he was kind of like waving back, side to side. I think he's
Yeah,
like,
it seemed like he was almost like overcoached on how to run for the
yeah.
40. Like he seemed like just really stiff.
I don't think it was like as natural. Um, but like, I mean, his hips, his feet, phenomenal.
Yeah, he's one of the best corner prospects we've had in a while.
Yeah, probably since Ramsey.
Yeah, I'd say that. Sure, yeah, that works.
Is there anyone else that sticks out since then? Maybe like a Marshawn Lattimore. Denzel.
I mean, all the other Ohio State guys like Denzel Ward went fourth.
Yeah,
So I mean, Okuda should be the same thing, top 5, 6, something like that.
yeah. But yeah. I mean, I'm pretty confident he's just gonna hit. Like at what rate, or what level he reaches, I don't know.
I mean, if he gets drafted by the Lions and the Lions are sub like 7-9, 6-10, kind of subpar, but he plays well. I could see him being a Pro Bowler in the first year, depending on what guys accept Pro Bowl invites and not, or all that stuff. Who gets the votes? But I could see him being a Pro Bowler in year one, just if he's locked down like that.
I mean, he's really high level.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of like favorite prospects in the class, I'd probably say, personally, for me, probably Brown, CeeDee Lamb, and Simmons are probably like my favorite 3 prospects. Just like when I watch the tape,
Isn't like top or like your actual favorite, like as in like Gladney for me.
Yeah, as in like Gladney for you, but they're it's kind of like the intersection where I also think that they're pretty high on my board. Like CeeDee Lamb's my wide receiver 1.
Right, same for me.
Yeah, same for you. There's just points in those. I think that there's points in all those guys' film, and more often than other guys, where they're just taking over the game.
And that was the main thing for me why I put CD as wide receiver 1, because I don't feel like Judy ever really took over a game.
No, and like maybe
CD did.
Maybe we're too hard on him just because we're kind of like downgraded him because of the talent that he was with.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to turn on Lamb's Texas film, he won that game for them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even when they're losing, like, I don't know if you saw that it went kind of like viral on Twitter. That ball that CeeDee Lamb tracked against LSU, where he stopped tracking it in the middle of its flight just to like get his body positioning right.
I never saw that. No.
I'll have to send it to you, but
okay,
it was phenomenal. He does that in like his other film too. He doesn't always like he doesn't have to track the ball like the full way. He can like look away, and corners are like, well, when is the ball coming? It's like,
that's crazy.
Like I love that trait in him. I was a big like AJ Brown guy last year because I thought that Ole Miss offense was so bad, and especially when DK went out, and you could just see mentally like it was clicking with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I like those types of guys.
Yeah, I'm with that.
I like Rager too.
This receiver class is just so good, man.
It's really good.
I like Mims. I like Rager. Who else am I high on? I'll look it up. There's a few different guys that I'm high on. My receivers, top receivers. Here we go. Rager. Van Jefferson. Really like him out of Florida.
Yeah.
His route running is clean.
Yeah.
Isaiah Hodgins, James Prochet. Oh, James Prochet of SMU. You gotta watch him.
Oh wait, no, I know who he is. Okay.
I know everyone says CD has the best hands in this class, but you gotta go watch James Prochet. He's special.
Right? Is he the slot guy?
Yeah, he played slot.
Yeah.
But his tape, he has this catch against, I think, Tulsa in overtime to win it. It's one of the most ridiculous catches you'll see.
I'll have to James Prochet. I'll have to watch him. Yeah, this receiver class is really good. What do you think of Hamler?
I like him. I think I've had him at wide receiver 8. Yeah, 8. I actually put him above Ayuk. I think Ayuk's a little over. I heard like some report about Ayuk being like the perfect receiver. I'm like, what? I didn't see that on film. I think he's good. That's why he's top 10 in this ridiculous class for me. I had him at 9. but I don't see like this total top 5 receiver hype for him.
No, I don't, and I think the NFL's higher on him for a few reasons, but um, I studied that Arizona State offense because I made a video last year about N'Keal Harry, and I just kind of got like a better feel for their offense. And I know that Herm Edwards came there
Mm-hmm.
afterwards. Um, it's it's deceiving when you look at like a stat like yards after catch with
Yeah.
that offense because the way they run like all their like bubble screens, like the receivers always like come back to the ball. So they're actually starting like behind the line of scrimmage in terms of like their average target.
Yeah.
But you'll look on like some website and you'll see like, oh, 383 yards after catch. And like, yes, you're very good in that category, but I think it's like a little overblown to some extent. But there's like some lack of like offensive creativity. So
Mm-hmm.
it's hard
Yeah.
to exactly. I'm not as high. What do you do with T Higgins? Because he doesn't have bad film. It's just like it's the testing.
Honestly, well, yeah,
Yeah.
his testing wasn't great, but even on film, you could kind of see that he didn't always have greatest separation.
No.
And like, so I mean, he would body guys in order to catch the ball, but he sometimes it just seemed like is he like just not trying to run fast, or can he just not run fast?
I just don't think.
That's what I couldn't tell. Is if you like on like a crossing route, is he like not getting separation from the guy because he just can't run
or is
faster
it
than
more
how
like
he's running?
waiting? Or is it is it more like timing based where
Right.
the goal isn't to finish this route as quickly as you can?
Right. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the thing. Like, and same for like some vertical routes. I'm like, can he run faster than that, or and he's just not, or like,
He
it's
did,
just weird for me. So I think he follow my top 10. He might have. Give me a minute.
he did have that one play against, or it was more than one play, but he did okay against Okuda. He had that game winning touchdown too,
Yeah.
where Lawrence broke the pocket, and that's not really on Okuda because
Yeah.
cover someone for 6 seconds, and he was still right there. But
Yeah. I had Higgins at 11, so he just missed my top 10.
I just think you need to put him with a quarterback who's just really accurate.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like almost every receiver in this class is going to hit. Like I just don't see how receivers in this class don't hit. At least like in the top 20.
I could see Hamler not hitting because of the hands, and he
Yeah,
does.
but I just feel like in the right system, where he'd fit good in is Arizona. If they decide to upgrade Andy Isabella for Hamler,
I
but
hate.
they probably won't.
I hated the Isabella pick last year. I thought there was no way that guy could get off press, and the whole narrative was like, "Well, we don't know," and it's like, I think we have a good idea.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily you're not seeing much press in the slot.
No.
And especially in that air raid offense or whatever the style that Kingsbury wants to run, you need some speedy slot guys. So
I mean, Hamler is so fast. He's so.
I wish he would have ran the 40, man. I want to see how fast he would run.
I would think in the 4.3s, somewhere in that range.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
He can fly though. One significant receiver that missed my top 20 is Chase Claypool. First, because I think he translates best as a tight end in the league.
I see more as a tight end. Just put some weight on that kid.
Mainly because even he tested phenomenally, like Calvin Johnson numbers.
Oh yeah,
with his size and speed.
Yeah, you just have to teach him to play football.
Where was that on? The thing on film, he would never separate from a guy. Like, how are you that big and that fast and you can't get separation on a corner? I just didn't understand it.
Yeah, he's an athlete playing football. He's not a football player.
Yeah. That's a fair way to put it.
Yeah.
I will also say, aside from Claypool, that Devin Duvernay was criminally underused in Texas's offense.
I like Duvernay.
I like him too, but he just wasn't used enough on that offense, to be honest. Like, they were running like powers and stuff with Sam Ellinger. I'm like, okay, but how about you just throw the ball to Devin Duvernay? Because that could work too.
Yeah, Texas was a team that frustrated me.
Yeah.
Shout out Nate Stanley, quarterback at Iowa. No, for this reason, when I turned on his film, because I was watching Wirfs. I had to watch Wirfs and Epinesa like pretty early on in the process. Nate Stanley was a guy I wanted to like throw my TV, like, throw something through my TV. I was so, I never feel that way. I fucking hate Nate Stanley. But yeah, who's the quarterback that I watched? Oh, TCU's quarterback is also pretty bad.
Max Duggan? Well, he was a true freshman.
Or who is the they played with two quarterbacks. TCU.
They
Whatever.
had, they had Alex Delton to start the year, but he got benched for Duggan.
Okay, so maybe it was the first guy. I just remember.
What game was it that you're watching?
What game was it? I could tell you after this. I don't know what game it was, but Rager was. It might have been Texas. I think it was Texas, maybe.
It was probably Doug because they beat Texas. They had the red uniforms or whatever on against Texas, and they won that game. But I mean, yeah, they didn't have great quarterback play at all this year or last year.
Yeah, it was more like
Kenny
Rager
Hill.
getting overthrown. I didn't think it was like so much.
Yes, dude,
quarterback play.
Rager.
It was Rager.
I feel so bad for him because he was so good and he just had very inconsistent quarterback play throughout both 2018 and 2019. So
Yeah.
TCU, I wish they had just been better because they got some studs.
Yeah.
You got Rager, you got Darius Anderson, they've got Jeff Gladney, they got Ross Blacklock. I love a bunch of the guys coming out of that team, and they're just 5-7 like that.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, that's crazy for a team with that number of athletes.
Yeah.
I mean, Rager's the only guy I saw beat Kenneth Murray. There was a play, TCU Oklahoma. Rager beat Kenneth Murray on they ran like a reverse sweep, and like Rager decisively beat Murray, and Murray like triggered pretty early, and it was like the only rep I saw where like it was like, oh, Murray looks slow on this play. So like Rager's got some juice.
Yeah, I like Rager to either the Vikings or the Packers. I think those are probably his best fits there.
Yeah, I would love to see the Packers.
Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Rager would be dangerous. That would be.
Yeah, I mean, right now they just have all those like big possession catch guys.
I do like Alan Lazard though. I have no idea why he went undrafted the year he did.
Yeah, I don't know why either. He played well last year.
Yeah, he was solid. Just they just need more guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna win a Super Bowl with. Love Devontae Adams. You're not gonna win a Super Bowl with him and Alan Lazard and Jay Sternberger.
No,
That's not gonna happen.
They need a good number two.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to move up for Jefferson because I feel like Jefferson slots in beautifully with that offense.
Yes. What about Laviska Shenault? Because when I watched him early.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of his game. It's just those health concerns, man, especially in this season. That's gonna drive him down draft boards. I feel like he should still go round 2 though.
Yeah, he might be the DK of this year.
Yeah, that was a little different.
DK
falling was just the result of GMs overthinking it too much.
Yeah, and GMs not thinking like, oh, you can be like a prototypical X in terms of like a full route tree. It's like he's like 230, runs a 4.3. You can't prep like.
He ended up in the best situation possible though with Russell Wilson throwing to him.
Oh yeah, but like DK was a guy that like he only plays like on a vertical plane. But he's so good at like both of the things that you need if you want both elements of like that vertical game, which is like once you're off me, I can hurt you after the catch. And if you press me, I'm physical to get off press, and then I'm also faster than you. And I'm actually I track well enough to where like I can be productive, and I was productive in college. So I think DK teams overthought it a little bit, plus the medical. I think they were just able to mentally write him off.
Yeah. Teams that were doubting him, they're going to find excuses either way. So
yeah. What do you think about Kinlaw?
He's a solid defensive tackle too. I don't see.
Yeah.
Like I haven't dove into the interior defensive lineman yet, but I don't foresee anyone passing him.
Yeah.
For me, but I think he's solidly behind Derek Brown, but he's solidly ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, that's my takeaway too. I think he's my 12th ranked prospect, and a lot of that is based on upside. I think his upside's crazy.
Yeah, and he'll probably end up being a better pro than when he was a college player. It's not like Rashawn Gary last year.
No,
I don't. Upside Rashawn Gary. I'm like, no, Rashawn Gary is just stop. I didn't like Rashawn Gary very much, but I do like Kinlaw a lot more.
Yeah, I was not a Rashawn Gary fan. I'll say that. But his testing, I looked up his testing just for like reference, and I was like, oh my god,
it was pretty stupid.
4.58, like 38.5 on the vert at 277. Like, are you kidding?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I understand, like, Edge is so.
Montez Sweat tested well too, and he dropped because of health stuff.
Gary's an interesting like body composition guy because you look at him and he looks a little fat like in the face and other areas of his body, but like he's like kind of rocked up and he's like dense. I
Hmm.
don't know how he carried 280. Like, but like, yeah, he was so inconsistent on film that it just drove me crazy. And I usually am more out on those guys than in.